And welcome everybody to another episode of Come Play With Us, Danny. Of course, the horror movie review podcast hosted by myself and my sister Megan. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in,
Hello.
Megan.
Hello.
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 Hello. And before
it's been a hot minute, hasn't it?
been a hot minute, and before we get into this week's episode, make sure to go to our YouTube page, hit that notification bell, and subscribe to our page. And also go to Anchor.fm, Spotify, Amazon Music, and Google Play to hear the audio version as well. We have a I like reviewing movies like this because it it switches it up a little bit from you and I, because we are positive about most things.
Yes.
But when it comes to things like this,
I don't.
I gotta take off the glasses for this one. I don't know.
Please do, because I don't know what the.
So this week's movie is Dashcam, the 2021 computer horror screen movie, directed by Rob Savage and written by Gemma Hurley.
Mm-hmm.
Savage and Jed Shepard. The film stars Annie Hardy, Amer, Patel, and Angela Enahoro. The entire film was shot on the perspective of either Hardy's handheld iPhone or a dash cam in her car. As she follows live streams for her actions for views, whose comments on the events also play. The film follows Hardy playing a meta semi-fictionalized version of herself.
What was that?
I'll get into that in just a second. As she visits a friend in London amidst the COVID-19 pandemic and finds herself in a series of nightmarish events after giving a strange woman a ride in her car. The film is produced by Jason Blum of Blumhouse Productions alongside Douglas Cox and Savage. The movie was made for $100,000. Total box office return, $70,000. So
that should tell you something.
Yeah. So if this was a meta version of herself, I would not want to meet her in person. She is terrible.
Oh, I know.
I think from the get-go of Dashcam, I was like, if she doesn't die within the first 10 minutes, I'm not going to like this movie, because she is so annoying.
I've never wanted someone to die so quickly in a movie in my life. Literally.
Which Megan, I thought was going to happen, because you kind of have that set up. Okay, comes out of nowhere. She's doing her thing in LA or whatever. She's during the pandemic. She's doing her thing. And then, like, you would think she maybe would get hit by a car. And then it would go into the actual movie. But no, she's like the protagonist of the whole film. She is like the lead of this whole film.
She just kept going.
Yeah, she kept going. And that was she kept going. She kept going. And that do you think if they replaced her with somebody else, the movie would have been better?
Yes. And I can tell you why. Because I focus more on her
than anything else.
Right. And it was more of me wishing that she would be killed off or she would just shut up.
Which she did neither of those.
No,
at all.
And I was quite confused of why they made her the character she was. I was baffled, because I've never hated somebody in a movie as much as I hated her character.
Right. I've never hated a lead character as much as, and look, I have nothing against people that have a speech impediment, like a lisp. But
is it a lisp, really?
I don't know what it was, but like, look, if you have a lisp, I have nothing against you. I'm sure, like, you are, like, her character is that how she talks in real life? I hope not.
I don't know. I've never heard her talk. I didn't even want anything to even research her after this movie.
Because it almost seems like she was like channeling her inner Bill Murray from Caddyshack.
Oh God.
You know what I'm saying?
I went with like having a dick in her mouth. That was about it.
Which she did reference a lot in the movie.
Oh
like
God,
things in her mouth.
You know what? I'm not one of those type of people that not condone cussing or just spouting out words. But when you sound like you have Tourette's, and for no reason, like toward like some of the scenes she just kept spitting out words like for no reason whatsoever.
I would love to ask the director, was his main goal to make her the most hated person in the film?
If you
Because
did,
she's a terrible person. Like she
yes,
is so, she takes her friend's car.
Yeah.
And then like
gives two shits about that.
Yeah, gives really two shits about, goes in, steals food, steals whatever she wants.
But then proclaims that she's not a thief.
Right. And then like crashes his car, like doesn't really give like she's a terrible, terrible person.
This movie, and I think I texted you this is a lot in a movie. And it's not even in a good way a lot.
Right.
It was like, so the wife and I were sitting here watching this, and she would give you her own opinion because halfway through it, she was like, can we just please turn this off? But it was like, there were some scenes I was like, yes, this is great. There's gore because, you know, I'm the queen of gore. But some scenes I, first of all, hate watching a movie where the camera is like all over the place.
Well, I think that's the thing too, because I'm not a big fan of like the POV shot horror type movies. Like there's only a couple movies that really pull this off. Like that's the Blair Witch Project.
Yes.
And then Wreck, the original Wreck, not Quarantine, the American version. I'm talking about the original Wreck.
That's fine. Yes, Wreck is those two.
Even movies, you know what? Even the American version, Quarantine, pulls it off.
I actually like that movie. Yes.
So, but this movie was just like, it's like they took the camera and just threw it. Like, here's the shot, guys. We're throwing the camera across like the building, or we're throwing it across the forest, or we're throwing it across the car. That's what it seemed like. And this movie was filmed on an iPhone and a Dashcam.
I mean, and you can tell.
Yeah, you can tell. But you can also do great things with an iPhone. Like people now are filming films with iPhones and doing them quite well.
Yes, they are. But even then, like this was, like you said, it literally looked like somebody was taking the phone or whatever they had. Even so, she had it under her head at one point,
right?
And it literally looked like she was running around with her head. I mean, there wasn't, the storyline really confused me and irritated me because I'm like, okay, you leave your apartment, great, fantastic, in the middle of the pandemic. First of all, I was sad for the cat. You left her behind. Obviously, you didn't want to go back for her.
Wait, and what kind of confused me the most is, wasn't during COVID travel restricted?
Yes, it was.
So how are you getting over to the UK when it's during COVID? Lies. Lies.
Especially over to the UK, over to Europe, they did not let you go anywhere, like let alone coming from LA trying to go over there. So, and then getting there and sneaking into your friend's house and then slapping him with a handful of spit.
Yeah.
See, if you had walked up to my house and like that, you were going to get shot. I don't care if you were friends or not. I just don't. The storyline just was really, and she was an asshole the whole time. Like I've never watched a character. I'm like, all right, maybe she'll soften up a bit. No. She was
like,
just.
You would think like when, like, okay, so really it doesn't really get going until about maybe 35, 40 minutes in, because the first quarter of the movie, it's her being very annoying and being a dick to everybody.
Yes.
And then as soon as she goes into that shop to pick up the food, which the food wasn't there, and then this shopkeeper like hands this lady over to her, pays her a bunch of money, then it starts to go, okay. I mean, you know what this reminds me of, Meg? This reminds me of like, maybe this could have been in like the VHS series, where it was one of those stories that they said, hey, this might not make the full length cut of VHS. We might put this on like a bonus like disc or whatever. That's what I got the feel of. It was like a rejected story from VHS.
I agree.
Because it's just like, and this Dashcam could have been so much better and without her. And I did look her up. Like, she's like a Wish version of Mazzy Star.
Oh, stop.
She's a musician too.
I know she is.
Yeah, she's like the Wish. She's like the Wish version of Mazzy Star.
Oh,
yeah.
I just don't understand the storyline. Like, First of all, why are you taking some old lady that looks like has COVID in the
Right.
back of some shop, and this woman pretty much shoves her over, and then she takes a shit in the back of the guy's car.
Right. Yeah. Then you keep going with it. It's like, look, I'm out. You're done. Like,
Oh,
you can
yeah.
go wander the streets. I'm
Yep.
cool with yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Don't know you from a hole in the wall. I'm done. But no, she keeps going. And then the woman's mother pops into the scene and says that this is her daughter, and her daughter's really
She's 16 years old. Yeah, yeah, there's so much. When you texted me that idea, like, there's a lot. I'm like, after I was like, what? There is a lot, and there's not a lot of explanation.
No,
at all.
There's a difference between that and like Skinamarink. Okay, Skinamarink was just dumb. Like it was just low and high shots. Cool, that's what you explained. We kind of got the storyline for that. That was a little bit better. This just looked like, all right, we're just going to throw scenes in from different movies, and if you catch it, great. Because at the end, what the fuck was following her? What did it transform into?
Yeah, at the end where it pops out of that lady, and it's just like this weird, squid weird thing, and yeah, I don't know. And then at the end of the film, she just like hops back in the car and starts rapping again.
I know. I turned it off at that point. I was done.
Which is like, yeah.
Ma'am, you were covered in excrement. Yeah. I think that you should probably go somewhere else instead of getting back in. It was like she was high on was on something the whole movie.
You know what, I can maybe picture this. Maybe this was like a trip that she had, and none of that was real. Maybe she was tripping out she was hallucinating in her apartment out in LA.
Uh-huh.
And she thought she went over to the UK and imagined all this shit happening.
Somebody needs to get her dealer, because that.
You know who I really felt bad for was Stretch.
Stretch, yeah.
Yeah, I felt bad for him because he has a shitty friend and he kept hanging around her.
Yes. I would have ditched her a mile back. I would have left her in the field with Angela.
Right, I would have done.
But no, he climbs up the tree after the crazy. First of all, why are you going to climb up a tree that some arthritic old woman apparently got up there herself?
Who has some sort of superpowers and she can fly and teleport.
I don't get it.
And then I feel bad, like they crash into those newlyweds and they're dead. Like,
oh yeah, the guy's through the freaking window and she's trying to hold his hand. What has happened to Blumhouse? I don't
know either. It seems like they're taking the cheap route to like movies and just like putting them out there. Obviously, this wasn't in theaters. This was in like, streaming services only. So
thank God.
Thank God. Because look, listen, if you're on shrooms and you've smoked a few, and this is on Hulu, and you may want to kill about 90 minutes out of your day, and maybe want to root for the main character to die, which she doesn't die. She's like Wile E. Coyote and doesn't die. Watch Dashcam. I don't recommend Dashcam. I think this movie should be burned out of our psyches forever.
Yes.
And Miss Annie Hardy should never act again.
No.
Yes.
No, I just don't know where they got her or why they thought that she would be a good idea in this movie, because I just wanted to email who I could and been like, hey.
Now I know we hate this movie in Jen. There's a couple positives that I have out of this film.
There's a couple positive I have too.
Okay.
Go ahead with yours.
The positives are the concept of it was, it's during the pandemic, horror movie during the pandemic. And I think, there's plenty of ideas you can do a pandemic horror film.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the way they had the live chat going. Like people were kind of tuning in and saying, what the hell is going on? That's kind of cool too, because then it becomes interactive. Obviously we're in this day and age where live video feeds is the thing and people want to be in the now. And that's it. That's all I have for positive notes. It wasn't like stylization of filming. It was you're filming off an iPhone and probably a GoPro, and then it's just shaky cam from there, and that's pretty much it.
I mean,
honestly, Megan, if we didn't review this film, I would have turned it off within the first 35 minutes because she was so goddamn annoying.
I would have too. That was, well, I mean, it was a pick between. I gave you some options what we should watch. So, the only positives I had were I liked the gore.
Yeah, it was gory.
The special effects were good, and this was actually banned in the UK because it was too offensive.
I think it was probably banned because of the performance by Annie Hardy
Probably.
in the UK. Not because of the special effects and the gore. It was because of Annie Hardy and her stupid rapping about dicks and buttholes all the time. Yeah.
Like, what are you, 12? Like, I don't get that. Like,
I will say this though. There was one when her and Stretch were doing the butt song. It was kind of funny. It was kind of funny. But then after that was
like for a smidge. Like that was it.
Right.
Everything else, I just, like I said, the special effects were good. There were some scenes I was like, oh fuck, what the hell, but the acting just, my God, I don't even know. Like, I was very confused after I watched that movie.
All right, so our overall synopsis: Dashcam sucks. Annie Hardy's a terrible actress, and we have nothing against people that have speech impediments.
No.
And now, movie news.
Yes.
Let's get into movie news.
All right, so I do have a couple things for you.
I have a couple things too. There's been a whole bunch of uptick of all kinds of horror movie news in the past few
Would you like
weeks,
to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first. Hopefully we don't overlap each other. So Smile, the movie that we both love and adore, Smile is going to be getting greenlit a sequel by Paramount. They say a sequel to Smile is a priority, and they're looking to move forward ahead with a sequel to Smile. Hopefully they don't title it like Smiles or anything like that.
Now that you said that, that's probably what's going to happen.
Probably. Netflix is going to, or are talking to Guillermo del Toro for a new live-action version of Frankenstein. Andrew Garfield, Oscar Isaac, and Mia Goth.
Yes.
The Scream Empress herself, Mia Goth, are in talks to do a live-action version of Frankenstein. Now, who would be Frankenstein? Would it be Andrew Garfield or would it be Oscar Isaac?
I would assume it would be Oscar Isaac.
Think so? And then Garfield would be Dr. Frankenstein?
Yeah, because he doesn't strike me as a Frankenstein. Andrew Garfield is real skinny and Spider-Man-like.
Okay. The Exorcist revival has officially wrapped a few weeks ago, so we will be seeing The Exorcist reboot or prequel coming up, and the film opens on October 13th, so it is wrapped filming. Scream 6 opened up, and it beat projections, opening up to $44.5 million, making it the highest grossing film of the Scream series and one of the best reviewed of the Scream series as well. I know we're going to be trying to see that film pretty soon too as well. Scream 7 is pretty much going to be greenlit, and the possibility of Stu coming back is getting.
Oh my God, you're still hanging on to that.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. Okay, fine. Just hold on to that dream because I don't. Oh, God.
And Evil Dead Rise had a lively premiere at South by Southwest this past coming week.
Yes.
Apparently, there was a heckler in the movie that said this movie effing sucks, chucked some popcorn, but then, of course, the hero himself, Bruce Campbell himself told the heckler to get the hell out of here and what are you doing here and stuff like that. People cheered and told the dude to get out. So it was probably somebody that was drunk off his ass in the premiere of the movie, but it did premiere at South by Southwest, and the reviews so far have been highly, highly good. So
I'm totally. We're having a viewing party for this. We're gonna get a group of us together.
Yeah,
we're going to see this. Yes.
Film opens up next month on the 24th. So yeah, I did actually rewatch the Red Band trailer before we got on to do the show today. So yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
That's what I got for movie news. What do you got?
Okay. So we had briefly talked about Hellboy, the Crooked Man. They have now placed Jack Casey as Hellboy.
I'm not familiar with him.
Not familiar with Jack Casey. So he has been in a smattering of movies. He was in the remake of Baywatch, if you actually saw that.
I did see Baywatch.
He played one of the henchmen.
Okay. Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yes,
okay.
And he was also in Claws, for those who have never seen that series. It was actually based on a nail salon in Palmetto, Florida.
Okay.
and he played one of the characters. So he is relatively a big guy to begin with. So I don't see an issue with this. He does have the features, so I'm sure the prosthetics won't be bad.
I'm looking
So-
at him right now. He's got the jaw.
Yeah, he's got the jaw.
He's got the jaw for it. I'm just hopefully he embodies, the character. Because
I would think he would. I mean, this is big shoes to fill. I mean,
well,
this
it's
is
huge. Well, I mean, the gold standard is Ron Perlman, and then
yes.
David Harbour did an all right job, but Ron Perlman is the gold standard when it comes to Hellboy. So
Yes, most definitely. Next, Fangoria put out that horror icons Bill Moseley and Lynn Shay are set to star in an upcoming horror film called Scared to Death.
okay,
This is it's about a group of young filmmakers who enter an abandoned children's orphanage in order to do research for a movie that is their first mistake. They should be actually starting production this month. They don't really give any more things about it, but it's supposed to be a really, really, really good movie. So I'm a big fan of Bill Moseley myself.
anything with Bill Moseley is usually twisted and sick and awesome. So
Yes, most definitely. You did touch on the Smile one, which I won't go over again, obviously. Let's see here. Yesterday, actually, was David Cronenberg's birthday. So happy birthday to David.
oh, so okay. So speaking of Cronenberg, I started to watch Crimes of the Future. It is on Hulu right now.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Okay. And with the face? No.
I had to turn it off. It was like
Did you really?
I couldn't do it. Like
Oh.
the first I had to
Oh.
first I had to turn it off the first 30 minutes.
Okay.
Like there are some Cronenberg movies where you're just like, what the F? And this was one of them. And it's just like, I couldn't pain myself to watch the rest of it. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't.
Okay. That's fine. Some of his movies I've done the same thing where I was like, I can't do this. I just can't.
Yeah. And that's, Crimes of the Future is one of them. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Couldn't do it. Sorry. Sorry, David. Couldn't do it.
Going back to Evil Dead Rise, the director is actually betting people $50 you can't spot the cameo. Does anybody know who the cameo is?
Groovy, baby. Groovy.
Exactly. So Bruce Campbell is in Evil Dead Rise. It does not specify where he is or what he is, just that he is starring in the movie. So,
I bet he's like some sort of like severed limb or something like that.
he's
Like he might pop up as like a severed head or
just talking.
Yeah, maybe something like that. I can just see that happening,
Okay. All right. They did say that the Evil Dead Rise has a huge gore factor and demon factor. So this movie is, like we said before, on the trailers. There's cheese graters. There's like a tattoo gun. There's all kinds of the gore factor is high in the movie. So if anybody has a weak stomach, not even bother. Basically, with this movie.
All right,
because it's supposed to be really good. That is pretty much all I have. I don't have much.
Okay. Well, that's sounds good to me. There's so much good horror coming out in the next couple of months. It's almost overload, but it's a good overload. So I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see Scream 6. So
yes, April is going to be probably the next October. There's a whole bunch of horror movies that are dropping in April. So if you guys, we'll try to keep you updated as much as we can about everything that is dropping and our reviews. If you guys do you want to see if they can pick for our next movie, we can't do it successfully ourselves.
Yeah, let's just do that. So.
All right, guys. Well, I'll put up on Instagram for those who follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Pull up and we'll see what you guys want us to review the next time. We're going to try to do some newer movies. So if you guys do new ones that we have not seen yet, please let us know. And always, please follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We have some good followers so far, and we'd love to see you guys on there. So,
well, and thanks for tuning in, guys, to another episode of Come Play With Us, Danny. Make sure to go to our YouTube page and subscribe at Come Play With Us, Danny Show, and make sure to hit that notification bell when we have a new show that drops. We will see you guys yet again. This is Come Play With Us, Danny. We'll see you guys soon. Peace.